Hello, welcome everybody, and welcome to our second episode of Remembering with Marie Major.
Hello, hi everyone.
Big episode, and honestly, wildly appropriately timed. Right after your, what can I say, interview with the Daily Show?
Or I would say like a segment. Call it a segment.
Okay, yeah, your segment. Thanks. Sorry, there was like pop-ups coming up here on the lives, and I'm still learning how that works. And I'm like, okay, no. Okay, just thank you so much. So how did that even like transpire? How did you get there?
Yeah, one of the producers just reached out to me a couple months ago because they saw my Stargate videos on Iran, on my TikTok and Instagram. And yeah, so they reached out and I was kind of like, this sounds weird. Like, is this real? Blah, blah, blah. And then I reached out back and we got on a Zoom call and I actually had like a over 2 hour, maybe 3 hour conversation with the producer and amazing. Like the whole staff, everybody was so wonderful. And obviously I knew they were like, yeah, we're going to mock the Stargates because I said, hey, like, I think humor brings more shifts people more into an awareness to be open. So I was fine with that. But I also didn't want anything to be spoken about negatively about Iran, the people, the land, and just also to take the war seriously. But it was like pretty much them mocking the Stargate idea. So it's, which I totally understand, not everybody's going to align with it, right? It's, an out there concept to most people, but I'm hoping, and I think it did because I have like hundreds of emails of people reaching out saying that they believe in this and they see it in their dreams. And I've even I had one woman say, my husband used to work for the government. This is true. I've had a man who worked for the military saying like what you're speaking about is true. So it's like I haven't gone through all of them, but the few that have popped up, it's really like people are resonating with this concept and this idea. So I kind of just decided to go on the show. It was great. It was like over a 2 hour interview. Josh was amazing. The director was amazing. The crew, the camera people, we had like so much fun and we actually had such a deep conversation. And it's comedy, it's late night. They're gonna edit it and chop it up
and put laughter over it, which I was like, if you just take away the laughter, this is educational.
Exactly. But I loved how they made it into like a little bit of a comedy skit. And Josh, his facial expressions were hilarious. So I loved it. I enjoyed it after, and hopefully some people will align with it and some people might not. So it is what it is.
And the podcast is called Remembering. So maybe it's something that unlocks someone, and you, one, are very brave for putting yourself out there and knowing what it is, because we are also seeing a big divide between the third and the fourth and the fifth dimension, like more clearly, and seeing like the split between humanity of consciousness, and also seeing the next wave of people waking up that now we get to joke on television about Stargates.
Yeah.
Also, let me just say a few things. Nobody knows why we're fighting in Iran, right? We're all saying oil. Okay, but also that's in Venezuela. That's also here. That's also so nobody knows. Why couldn't it be something that we don't see? And haven't the movies been telling us these things all along? It's been in front of our eyes. It's not that far-fetched of an idea. And at this point of what we're watching in the presidency, can anything be too far-fetched?
I know, right? He like just released this crazy like video of like, I don't know if you saw it, but it was like a Diet Coke and then a UFO. And like what the hell? Like how does the president have this much time on his hands? So this is what people when they like this, he's just obviously not doing anything. He's horrible. He's a puppet. There's strings being pulled behind him. Like Exactly. Like when I mean, do I believe that they are in control? It's because I don't believe uh, one of the oldest civilizations in the star galaxy is brainwashing them. No, 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 no. I don't believe that. Maybe, yes, some. There's lower beings, lower entities coming, attaching on whenever you're in that energy of forgetting, I call it. So if
Yes.
you're just a horrible human, you're negative, you're evil, you're racist, you're full of greed, you're full of control, you're hoarding, you're in this energy of forgetting. So there is lower vibrational beings, there are extraterrestrial beings there, but majority of them actually are good and have healed. So this is the whole thing for humans to blame it on a star lineage that is one of the oldest in the sky from the draconian star constellation. It's insane to me. Like, that's just not holding these humans accountable
Yeah.
for doing inner work. Like, they are wounded souls not doing inner work.
Yeah.
It's simple. But then their cause, and it's also, it really comes down to control.
Yeah.
It comes down to this energy of control. That is what it is. Do I believe that there is some government officials in the back scenes that know about this energy field? 100%. But they're coming from a negative place of control. So it's like, I believe there are people who are aware and understand this, but from a horrible place. And then I believe Trump and his people who we see at the forefront are just puppets who are also horrible people who, but then are dumb and have no awareness. This is where it's like, that's how I see it. So it's interesting when people like how they brought in also the Stargate movie and the TV series. I've never seen that.
Me neither. And I know too much.
Yeah. I want to watch it now because I didn't even know until I saw one of the comments. They're like, oh yeah, how original, Stargate Atlantis. And then they showed the photo of the TV show. And I was like, oh my God. Like, and I want someone, if anybody can comment and tell me that is this TV series about the civilization Atlantis. I'm so curious. I need to Google that because I was speaking about the civilization. But a lot of people, you know, they're not going to understand this, which I have to remind myself. Like, you know, yeah, it is what it is.
This may or may not be for you, and this content may be for entertainment purposes only. The rest of this evening, take what resonates and take what doesn't. We will be here for at least an hour. If you want to pop in questions, put them in the comments. We're going from TikTok and YouTube right now. And before we get deeper into things, I just wanted to say a couple of things. My name is Julie Christine. I work for the Academy of Logic and Light. This is my baby creation. If you want to know anything about us, you can go to academyoflogicandlight.com and find anything you need to know. Most specifically, who is our target audience? What is our code of ethics? And if you fall into any of these categories and this community is for you, you live a color neurodivergent organized community, this is for you. And this week I just built out the logical side of things. So as I've held the community, a lot of communities hold space from the heart chakra. We get excited about the throat chakra in conscious communities, and we get excited about our third eye and our crown chakra. But a lot of people don't get excited about the root chakra, the sacral chakra. And those are the ones that hold us together when we're going through a lot of our hard times. Those are the ones that have the hardest things to look at. So as a community, I have put everything you need. We're going through this as a community together with weekly topics and challenges. And we started with the root chakra, and now we are sitting in the solar plexus. And no, we just moved into the heart chakra, of course, perfect timing. So the topic of this week is grief. And it's been an interesting timing of the topics of the week. But for me, if I'm going to apply it with what we're talking about today, is grief is a tricky one. And grief can look a lot of different ways of, yes, for people we think about, but also grief can look different by the stories that we tell ourselves. It can look like, wow, maybe I wasn't who I could have been, or I wasn't the best version of myself, or I could have done better. But it's not to sit in a shame spiral. And we have a lot of literature about shame and things of that nature, because as a community, we talk about the hard subjects and we work on them through together. But now that we're going through these harder subjects in a grounded way, because as much as this might sound crazy as what we're going to talk about, realize that my website is extremely grounded. I built it. I am of sound mind. Disclaimer. So yeah, how did you start getting into the Stargates? How did this come to you?
Yeah, so I've been really just interested in learning about just the energy of planet Earth, the nature, how we can connect more with Mother Gaia. And this year, just everything that was happening in humanity with the wars, with the divide, with our government and the political structure, and just you really see the separation. And I wanted to sit down with my guides and ask, okay, why is this happening? And they showed me the Stargates. And they really showed me Stargate 10, which is Iran's Stargate. It also borders Iraq, because when I think of a Stargate, it's like an energy field. So it's rippling in the collective, in the land, in the ley lines, in the air, in the sky, in the stars. This is where it is woven into. And I saw that, okay, Iran Stargate is a master key right now. And it was showing that with this master key holds a wound, and this wound is the wound of separation. So this is why so much of the collective was feeling this. This is why I believe the US got involved. I believe the world, as you can see, just with everything with politics, Israel, what is happening, the divide, the complete separation. And humanity is really being asked right now, okay, how can I connect with the gates? I don't need to go travel to the gates. I need to understand the gate is about connecting within. It's about doing the inner work. It's about doing the healing that needs to be done in relationships around you, the healing in your city, in your town. And this ripples in the collective where people begin, and Mother Gaia, the planet, nature, Earth, the universe, other planets respond to this energy. So it's this energy being put out and mirroring back to us, but we're also mirroring back to the energy we are putting out. This is where law of attraction is put in. So this is where I started being like, okay, let me ask these deeper questions about the Stargates and about this energy. And it's not just some sci-fi movie or TV series. This is a field. This is an energy created by nature, by Mother Gaia herself. Mm-hmm. And it's wild to me when people kind of laugh at Stargates, because it's like, how then do you explain nature? How do you explain the moon? How do you explain other planets? How do you explain the moon pulling the tides, the ocean, pulling the water? How do you explain planet Earth rotating perfectly? How do you explain the sun coming up? This is the thing I really feel like humans need to understand and honor, that we are a small speck in this universe. And there's a deeper knowing here that we are all connected to, which is the soul's journey. It's the journey of remembering. And when we remember the Stargates, we really remember our soul's journey and our soul's mission. So it really comes all down to remembering that we are all one. We are all connected. We are unity. And that's why Iran holds this master key, because there's been so much conflict there, and also in Iraq, and also other neighboring places, where it's not just about religion, oil, other factors, money, resources. It's really about control. And it's about these lower frequencies, lower entities, and also humans that are in this energy of forgetting. And when you're in the energy of forgetting, you constantly are trying to control. So there's this control on the Stargates. And yes, some are dormant, some are waking up, some have healed, but there's this energy of really understanding, okay, yeah, this might sound out there, but when you really take a step back and look at everything that's happening on planet Earth, this sounds pretty aligned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely not that crazy. Like, at this point, who are you guys to tell us anything?
Exactly. Oh, right. Like,
believe us or not.
Yeah.
We're not here to convince
President tweeting about 100 times a day. So it's insane.
Yeah, we're good. We're fine.
Exactly. I love people are like also saying, I'll believe whatever now in 2026, right?
Yeah. At some point, we needed to get like to completely break our entire psyche so that this stuff can actually be like, oh, actually, shit, there might be something here to this, you know? And that's why I also say when you come to the academy, I hope that you have already tried everything else. Because I don't want you to come here and try to be like, wow, wow, wow. No, you need to come in here and be like, that. I have tried everything. This is my last resort. I believe in it fully because the remembering sits inside of you. It sits inside of you. And that means looking at your work because you cannot remember if you have your ancestral trauma sitting in your field. You cannot remember if you have these old paradigms of things that were placed upon you when you were 7 or 14. You cannot move on if you don't look at them and let them move out of your field, and you can do them with grace. And that a lot of it is 12th dimensional, multi-dimensional healing. It means looking at things from a bird's eye view, looking at where it sits in your periphery and saying, okay, I see you. I'm sorry that that happened. So what can we do to empower ourselves from that situation? I send it love and light and move forward. And that's the exact same way that Reiki or at the academy, we've kind of removed like names and legacies from certain things, but energy healing in general is how to channel your own energy and bring in pure source with no other frequencies and honor things and get connected. Because when you actually sit in the energy of things, you realize you're one with it, you're connected with it, you can move it and you can manipulate it and you can make things change, and the world happens for you, not to you. You get out of that victimhood and out of the forgetting, and your alignment goes from this to now here. Exactly. Where before, if you're too yang, my cat's having an asthma attack. I'm sorry. But if you're in alignment with the yin versus the yang, there's ways where you can see like, oh, okay, maybe I'm pushing too forward and making things happen, and I didn't surrender. There's the balance.
Oh, there's such a balance. And just like to piggyback off what you said, like anybody can do this work. They don't need to go through me, you. Like this is energy everybody can tap into. Like every person that I read, I'm like, you can connect with your own guides. But I'm the same. Like I love having another person to connect with, bounce ideas off, get like them to connect with my guides, understand, do astrology stuff, tarot, this and that, all that. I love it all. But everybody has the power within. And this is the thing that I want people to really understand this. You don't need anybody outside of you. And this is what has been woven into the collective for centuries. And this is why we have a problem right now. This is why the gate, especially the gates that are coming forward right now, they have been dormant because there has been this false energy put into the gate. It has been coded into the gate. And it is this narrative that you need me to get to creator. And what Stargate 10 Iran shows me is this connection with the Christ consciousness avatar. And what that means is your connection with the universe, with God, creator, source. What is your connection? What is your divine connection? Because if you can't hold true for all religions, then your connection needs to be looked at.
Yeah.
So this is the thing that's coming up, because there's a lot of good and bad in every religion, but we also have this weather right now happening in the collective of people coming forward and thinking their religion's the only right religion. And then they're not respecting and honoring other religions. So this is where, you know, I was born and raised Catholic. I grew up Catholic, but I've always been super open to all religions and wanting to know everything, all cultures, all energy. I've been so super open to that. And I think with spirituality, that's what it's about. It is your choice daily, what you want, who you want to connect with, what it is you want to pray, how you want to pray, where you want to place yourself in nature, all of that. It is your divine connection. So this is where it needs to be spoken about as a remembrance that the power is within you. And, you know, Yeshua, they've completely suppressed and rewritten his stories. They even made him white. He's not white. Like Yeshua, his teachings were about we are brother and sisters. It's a brother and sisterhood dynamic. It is listening to one another. That is what spirituality is about, listening to nature. And that is the most important thing. And even listening to the beings in the cosmos. And you know what's so crazy, to bring up like a bit of like just media and entertainment. I recently watched Disclosure Day, and because I've just been so busy, I was dying to see it, but I just finally got the chance. And I wonder, have you seen it?
I haven't. So everything that I've seen come out about things is not enough. Like, I know more. I don't know how to say that without sounding like
you need
I haven't
to
watched
see
it.
though. Oh, I won't give it away, but I think it's now one of my favorite movies. And that's
Okay.
for me to say, because I like old school movies, but it is how, yeah, I've heard that. Like some people in the spiritual community, I don't like it. I'm like, haters, like everybody, like he is tapping into actual energy. He's bringing in channelers, he's bringing in nature, he's bringing in religion. I'm like, yes. I'm like, thank you, Steven, because it's like who could not like this movie? But I guess some people just like it. But now I won't give it away. But but you need to see it, because I think it's really like, yes, for people like maybe us who have been on a more of a path where we are spending our time with connecting with energy. Not that, because I don't want people to think, oh, I haven't been on this path, so I'm not spiritual, or my energy's not aligned. That's not true. Everybody has their own connection, their own divine timing. There could be someone who's way ahead of me and they're not even tapping into this. We can't compare each other, like, right? So it's not about like who knows more, what is right and what is wrong. It's about really what feels aligned when you hear something. So to me, it was just such a remembrance, and I think a reminder to the collective, which I really appreciated. So he really does, I don't want to give it away, but he does hit on a bit of religion a bit, which I'm grateful, because it shows, but it shows also that there's religions out there that do believe in all this. And, you know, so this is the thing, there's good and bad in all religions. Like, you can't
too high, and it's been hidden below good intentions, and you know there's always different things too, because you see different things in different religions. And like studying religion is one of the things that fascinates me because of my upbringing as a pastor and missionary kid. And I grew up in Chile, so I like my family like we lived there, and we brought white Jesus to Chile.
Oh my. Yeah. You're great.
I've done a lot of work around it.
Right. Yeah, good for you.
Yeah. But also like part of it is like in the remembering too, is like not only is there like a lot of work that has to be done here on Earth, but there's a lot of work that has to be done in the cosmos. And we talked a little bit earlier, something that me and my partner have appreciated with you is specifically the non-racism perspective of the cosmos, because there is a lot of people talking about reptilians and draconians, and that it's by basing saying all humans are bad. And I heard an interesting interview is say to hate reptilians is to hate yourself, because if you go back far enough, we all come from the same thing, much long time ago, before in the ancient times. There was a time where we all came from the same thing. So to hate one thing is to hate a version of yourself, and we are all also like inbred.
Exactly. All connected, right?
If we're all inbred, then we're all connected. So what are we doing with the differences? So there was a point of time of the Tower of Babel where it was made to separate us and divide us and keep us from knowing and getting closer to consciousness. But it was biblical. And what a perspective we have from all the different religions, what kind of transpired and who took charge, and the Abrahamic, Solomonic, and different sorts of patriarchal religions that came into place. The timing is all very, very interesting. But I think you and I both have had the conversation, I think, about Atlantis and Lemuria, and when the seeds originally started planting of divisiveness. But when Lemuria and Atlantis used to be cool for a while.
For a long while, yeah.
And I think a lot of people forget about that. So it's always, where are we pointing fingers at each other of Lemuria and Atlantis? Maybe we should be instead saying, what was the event that happened when the division started? And who is the parasite we've been feeding this whole time?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Well, it's for sure the energy of forgetting. That's what I feel. And I always explain this. I even explained this on the segment on the Daily Show, but I knew we were going to make it more in a humor and not super a deep conversation. But I spoke about there's two energies in the two forces of energy in the universe. And there's the force of forgetting and the force of remembering. And yes, maybe there's some souls in the in-between who are trying to remember. They're not like super horrible, doing horrible human things, but they are in a place of like greed and not doing the work, the inner work they should be doing. But then we also have a lot of souls in the energy of forgetting.
Yeah.
And then we have many souls in the energy of remembering. And these are souls that really are aware, they're honoring other people, they're kind, there's loving, there's unity, there's connection, there's a remembrance. They understand the original blueprint of humanity is Black. They also respect and honor indigenous culture and tribes, So I don't know if people it's wild to me how some people don't even know that a lot of indigenous tribes came from portals in the sky. So we're very connected to the Stargates. And this is an energy that really needs to be honored. So when people, a lot of times there is this kind of triggering energy being a white woman. And I know we've spoken about this in the spiritual community where people really don't honor this. And they don't hold the energy that whiteness has only been around for maybe 10,000 years. So this is what I see, and it's also scientifically proven that Black people have been around for over 500,000 years. And for me, when I ask my guides, which was the first civilization, is Africa. And it still is. It's still ongoing on planet Earth. And this is where the cradle of humanity began. And then Lemuria was 200,000 years ago. And then Atlantis was about I think 30 or 40, 50,000 years ago. So it's not that, far off, even though it does seem, but it's still there. And look at how Africa is. It's been holding planet Earth, all of us together. And there's been this energy of complete suppression and people in a system changing the narrative, which this is where I have such a big problem with, and especially with the spiritual community when they're not honoring all of that, honoring the culture, honoring the indigenous people of the land, where we come from. So I understand, because I've spoken to a lot of other souls who are like, yeah, but I know I was Egyptian in that lifetime, and I know I was from Lemuria and darker skin, and I know I was, you know, in Brazil. So I've had people say this to me, and I understand that, because, you know, I get where this thought process is coming from. But we also have to realize, yes, our souls live many, many lives, and every soul is different, and the journey is different. But we also have to honor and accept that we've come to this timeline and choosing this lineage, choosing this ancestral lineage, choosing this body, this skin color. So now we have a responsibility.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of humans aren't taking that responsibility and doing the inner work. So this is where this becomes back connected to the Stargates, how this all stems back to doing the inner work. Mm-hmm. And that is what the Stargates are reflecting back.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. And that goes right into our hero's journey, where we literally talk about do your effing work respectfully.
Yes.
And it's as above, so below, as within, so without. And our inner world is a reflection of our outer world. And the sooner that we realize that, we would maybe make our beds more, and maybe take care of our physical appearance, and maybe start noticing that maybe money is attracted to you, and gifts and miracles are attracted to you. And maybe all of a sudden your life is entirely reframed, and you start seeing things from a different perspective. And maybe that's when you start realizing too, that the people that you once surrounded yourself with aren't the people that you should be surrounding yourself with, and that they've kept you small, and that they've been siphoning your energy. Maybe it's time that you need new friends, and maybe it's time to step into a remembering and come and do that with a safe community with people who we remember. We remember. I will boldly say with full confidence, I remember that my planet was purple.
I love that. That's beautiful. Or like you have a lot of violet flame energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you transform and transmute.
Yeah.
So you're integrating kind of the pain and like seeing all of what happened, like also with the religion aspect, and you're weaving that in to help bring the energy and the frequency that actually helps people to remember.
Yeah, I try to bring things in with I'm a very grounded person as the Capricorn, so I try to bring people. I meet people where they're at. I've studied people for a lot of years, as a flight attendant in general, but also as a pastor's kid and a missionary kid, and traveling all over the world. Like, I've studied people, and studying something that connects us regardless of anything is those checkpoints that I've been building the academy, is those checkpoints of rage, fear, grief, shame, and then identifying where they sit, but also like the colors and the phytonutrients, that now maybe you didn't have to like sit in all the shame spiral. You just maybe needed to think about eating a mango and wear an orange shirt, and it maybe wasn't that hard.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And sometimes it's those like neurodivergent moments where we realize it could have taken 30 seconds and I was waiting for 40 years.
Right. Exactly. No.
Yeah, but I think a lot of okay, so actually this was a question that I've been like kind of, let's go into it. What is your definition of starseed? Lots of people are talking about starseeds. It's a hype word. Sam and I met at a starseed retreat actually at Mount Shasta.
Oh, I love that. That's so cute. Oh my gosh. Stargate 1. Yeah. Gate 1, Mount Shasta.
So what is your,
which is the root?
Exactly.
Like, and you're very focused on the root chakra, which is such a connection.
Oh yeah, Sam and I had like a transformative experience, both of us there, and we've pretty much never left each other's side ever since.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, but for the people just watching, if you don't know anything, if you've maybe starseed, this is the first time you're ever hearing the word starseed, what would you like to tell people?
Yeah, like starseed to me is that it's certain lineages from constellations in the sky, from the star systems. And I believe that as souls, we choose what threads of those timelines we want to weave in to on planet Earth. and also who we might want to work with shift into that energy. I believe it's like, we're like extraterrestrial beings can be woven into different star lineages. But I believe the star beings that are there, like the Pleiadians, the Lyrans, the you can say the reptilians, the Greys, there's so many, like you can't even begin, right?
Pleiadians, Arcturians, the Mentacans. Oh my God, I love it. And the Mantis people, we've got.
Yes. There's so many, but the beautiful thing is the soul chooses which timelines, because I believe our soul with our oversoul has traveled through those lineages in the universe. This is what happened. And this is what I see, but I also see it as a spiral. I should do it more like a spiral. And we've traveled to these lineages throughout time, and your oversoul has moved. And I also believe all of us, like a lot of people who are beginning to remember and shift their awareness into the state of consciousness, they're beginning to tap in to their starseed lineages. Yeah. So that's why starseed now is such a big subject, because people are beginning to remember. They're like, oh, okay, this is who's connecting with me. This is what's coming through right now. This is what's trying to channel through me. So people are now remembering the star seeds. So are there lineages?
Yeah.
I would love to know what you think, or like what your definition is.
Yeah, pretty much kind of the same exact sort of thing. I know there's a lot of weird hype of like people and that try to like indoctrinate it and make it with things that it is and it isn't. But like the way I have memories of things from before in my ancient times is that I came here. I've been here to Earth at least 3 times so far. And I remember like coming in once as like a mist. And I was like spirit of an island, and it's pretty cool.
Well, that's very cool.
I have a lot of memories around it, a lot.
Yeah.
And then another time in this life, I came in as a solar flare. And I actually did some research around it. I actually researched around my birthday what the solar activity was, and with the Hermetic astrology and whatnot. And it was a high solar activity time.
Oh, that's easy.
My partner had a high lunar activity. Yeah.
Really?
So there's some interesting things there. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's so interesting.
Yeah, but I believe that anyone that is having a remembering of an all like extraterrestrial consciousness is like popping in where you know things that you are like, wait, why did I know that? Or how did I know how to do that? Or maybe I accidentally just bent that metal spoon with my mind, or read someone's thoughts out loud. And that happens to me all the time. They're like, how did you read my thoughts? And I'm like, you get really good at reading energy. And then maybe your upgrades are just starting to happen right now, and your gifts are even more heightened and attuned. I believe we all have spiritual gifts that can make us powerful, that we all have access to, but I believe they're like muscles that are atrophied. So we have to exercise our gifts, and there's like different ways to perceive energy, and not just the 5 senses. There's so much more, right? So we have our 3rd dimension, which is the dimension that we sit on here together. And then we've heard of the 4th dimension, and then we've all heard about the 5th dimension, and then that's kind of where our higher consciousness is set. The 4th dimension, I like to think, is where the plasmic energy of information sits, where you see ghosts, where you see like ruminating stories. And that could be like when you come home from the grocery store and you picked up someone's depression, and you're an empath. It's because these stories sit in this 4th dimensional field. So watching where you're going and being intentional of your energy and protection. Check out Lisa Ray's Spiritual Hygiene podcast. Shout out. But these are sorts of things of the awareness that come to this. But I believe if we are starting to remember things that are not of this planet, that we came here to do a job. And that means it is time to roll up your sleeves. And this is a call to everyone. And if you are in your remembering, it is time to bring your wisdom, your skills, and whatever weird, quirky thing that you are neurodivergent about to the front grounds. because it is a moment of great division for the planet, and it is time that we all do our mother effing work respectfully and get our hands dirty and do something and actually go outside and meet your neighbor and realize we maybe have more in common than you think. The politics and the government have been dividing us for so entire long by gender, by race, by religion, by all these different things. And it is no longer the thing. We all breathe air. We all drink water. We all like a safe place to sleep. Healthcare is cool. I mean, but also healthcare was stolen from us and they put the word care into it. It is now, it's our job as wisdom keepers to remember and redistribute the knowledge so that people can have access to their own healing, because all of the information is in here. We just have to use the tools that we need to do our effing work.
Exactly. Like, it's so simple, but it's like it doesn't get done for some reason.
And I like to come back to too is, yes, we have talked about we are white women, yes, but also if there's a remembering of before this planet, a lot of this information came from before, and we're bringing it here with our brothers, our sisters, all of our council members, because we prepared for this. Literally, look at us here on this live today, right, that we couldn't have even planned this to a T with the planetary alignment. And shout out to the Cosmic Intelligence Briefing, because if you haven't seen it, you should. This is the moment of time that we have been waiting for. This is it. This is we're here. It's time.
Exactly. It is time.
Yeah. Okay. And so as far as like disclosure and things are going, we're watching things really crumble in real time on the third dimension. Obviously, it doesn't. You could be on any side of the spectrum. To have eyes.
Yes,
we are watching the decline of our country, a lot of our planet, and if you're sitting only in the third dimension, your fear is being used against you. And I could sound like a conspiracy theorist all day during that, but like, there's science to it.
Yeah. It's fear is the best way to describe it. It's the biggest energy force that has come in, and it's always been love over fear. And it's really about shifting into a place of, am I choosing love right now or am I choosing fear? And it's not simple, but a lot of us don't understand or allow ourselves to ask that question, be in a place of awareness. Or my thoughts running worried right now? What am I tuning into? Am I putting out an energy of fear? This is where it's important to be so mindful of what is the energy I'm putting out in the collective?
Yeah.
What am I putting out in the universe? How can I also have these difficult conversations and keep speaking about this and not just speak about, oh, it's all light and crystals? No, there's a lot of shadow happening, and this shadow needs to happen because people need to begin to remember. People need to begin to wake up and understand there is a system put into place to also fear people and divide us. And this is where the energy on planet Earth and in the collective and humanity needs to be looked at. It needs to be questioned.
Yeah.
This is why people need to start speaking up and asking the questions. I think true wisdom is a soul that keeps asking. It's why not keep asking? It's like, why not sit with your guides and keep asking? Yeah. Why look at a Stargate and be like, oh, that's dumb? Okay, maybe ask, what is this energy field? What is this connection? What is happening on planet Earth? Maybe I should go hug a tree. Maybe I should go put my toes in the sand. Maybe I should go smile at that person down the street when I'm walking and give them a smile and not care if they don't smile back at me. Why don't I go help somebody? Why don't I go ask my neighbor if they're doing okay? This is where like people need to start stepping up, because the government and the structures that have been put into play in the systems has always been an energy to fear the collective.
Yeah.
Because there's been this whole frequency of separation, divide and separation. It's been the story for a very long time. This is what they want to do. And when you allow yourself to step in a place of remembering, that's where you really open up and you begin to shift your awareness. And it's also, you can't say, oh, I've been programmed a certain way. We're now in 2026 where technology is right at our fingertips.
Ignorance is a choice.
Yes, you can look up anyone from a different race, a different religion background, a different culture, a different country, and you can listen to them on social media and educate yourself.
Please.
But it takes that shift and that awareness to do so. But so many people stay in a closed off position where they're not opening themselves up, opening their chakras, opening their energy field to listen to what is happening. And that is the main thing. Listen. So this is where that's what it takes, but it takes the people who want to do it. And obviously there is going to be a group of the collective that don't want to do it. But I am hopeful that planet Earth, I don't know when, but I think it is shifting sooner than later into a higher timeline, even though it's in a very horrible contrasting time. And I don't say that lightly because there's so much horrible things happening on planet Earth right now. We are at the worst of times, but we can look at it as that, okay, there's a crisis happening on planet Earth, but how can we take that energy and shine out to help others and not be so selfish and so narrow-minded? Oh, how do I just grow? How do I just tap into abundance? How do I just get my messages out? No, it's about actually tapping into an energy where, okay, let me open myself up to this energy and allow this shine to be woven into the collective together.
Yes.
The together type.
Energy.
Yes.
We're growing up.
Yes, exactly.
We're together.
Exactly. Like the children know way more than adults know. Like and the animals too. When people tell me animals stupid, I'm like, oh my God, you are stupid. Like,
yeah.
For you to think that, like animals are like, they've been around way longer than us.
Yeah. Facts. And they're so smart. Oh my gosh. And magical. We don't even deserve animals because we as humans have treated this planet like a giant bus stop waste bin. And we should, as humanity, be absolutely embarrassed of ourselves that if we did receive visitors, we could all see with our third dimensional eyes that this is what we're showing them. We should be embarrassed because we're the Walmart of the galaxy.
And if people really learn, like this also would go back to the gates, because I spoke about the Stargates are 12 primary Stargates connected with the chakras.
Yeah.
And if people understand to work with their chakras, tap into those energy, because it goes even deeper. Like I know for some people, chakras might even be an out there subject, but humanity really needs to do is to connect their mind with their heart. That's the first step. And I do see that it is happening. Like I have hope, but there's a lot more people that need to be tapping into this energy where I'm not just going to think with my mind. I'm also going to open my heart and think and lead with my heart. And that is the true energy. And tapping into that energy is going to open all the other chakras once you align to that. So with the gates, when people do mock the gates, it is so funny to me because I always say the gate is within you. And they were going to do a segment where Josh opened his shirt and they were going to put a Stargate there. And I wish they did that because I say, yeah, the gate is within you. And he's like, it's within me. Like what? Which would have been so funny. But it is true. Like it is, the gate is within you. It's within each and every one of us, because the biggest false narrative we've been programmed to believe is that we are separate from God, the universe, from nature, from one another, from our connection with source. Like that has been the biggest false belief we have been programmed to believe. And I think finally people are tapping into an energy where they remember.
Yeah.
Like, people are now asking me stuff. Oh, like, what do you think about this? Like, they're on news media. They're talking about the Greys and the reptilians.
Yeah.
You know, UFOs, this and that. So
It's
it is happening. We are moving into a direction, but I want people to be mindful and be careful. What narrative, what false story are they going to try to brainwash the collective? Because if they're going to try to tell you that all extraterrestrial beings are bad, this is where they're completely wrong. And I just hope more of humanity and more of the collective really begins to remember that the truth is in the universe. It is in this love. It is in the relationships. And that's why I love Disclosure Day so much, because it goes back to his original movie, E.T., the relationship, the energy with the boy and the alien. Like, oh, it doesn't get any better than that. And I always say Avatar was a documentary. Like, and when
yeah.
And I saw someone say in the comment section, I won't be surprised if in 20 years people say Game of Thrones is a documentary. I've never seen Game of Thrones, but hey, I believe it's a documentary.
Did you read Trump's like vision with the dragon on the Simpsons thing he posted on his social media?
Oh, did he?
It's a picture of a dragon flying after him and JD Vance in a UFO. And it's a Simpsons cartoon, which we all already know about that. And I'm like, okay, a dragon with fire and flames is what we're just going to talk about it. Okay, because let's talk about all the books that are missing from the Bible and the part where they took out the dragons.
Yes, which was the actual first civilization, was the dragons. That was the first lineage on planet Earth.
Yes, and to talk about Stargates, you have to talk about dragons.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. And you know, so many people though believe in this, because I got so many comments when I do my dragon videos. They tell me about their dragons. They send me photos of dragons in the sky, of the clouds, and people actually want to connect.
Yeah.
Like, my dad listens to dragon meditations now, and he connects with it. Like, you know, it's like, and he's not like, he's, you know, but he would never admit to that. He's like an athlete, sports guy, like only about football, rugby. But then he's like listening to his dragon meditation. I'm like, yeah,
I love that.
People, like, you know, people sometimes don't want to admit to this, but it's like years ago when I worked as like, you know, in the industry where I was waitressing and stuff, I would ask so many people, like, what do you think success is? Like, what is your secret to success? And so many people, and this is like 15 years ago, people would be like, I meditate. Like, you know, but they would say it so quietly because this was like not a known thing yet, even though it was such a known thing. Like, it's been happening since the beginning of time. But I think there was just kind of an energy for the last century where people did not want to admit to their actual meditation, to their ritual, to their prayer. And this goes back to, if people have never read the book by Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil, he wrote that in the 1920s, and he was channeling, you know, his higher self, and he was having the conversation with the devil, which is his ego. And it is such an amazing book, but his wife begged him not to release that because, you know, they're Catholic, it was religion. And I might have this story a little bit wrong. I don't know if it was exactly the 1920s. I feel like, and sorry, did I say it was Napoleon Hill? I hope I used the right name. Napoleon Hill. Yes, it was Napoleon Hill. But his wife did beg him not to release this book because she thought they would get hung. Because, you know, at that time, this is what they were doing. Like, a century before that, they were hanging witches. I mean, who was working with herbs in nature. Like, but
there's always a villain in their story.
Exactly, right? Always. Because it's the system. It's this group. And I'm sorry to say it, I am white, but this system of whites that created. I'm not saying all bad white people are bad. I'm not saying all white people are bad. I love, like, my whole family's white. Like I have friends that are white. Like, I'm not saying that.
We are problematic.
Yes, there's a system. There's a white system by the white palm that was put and woven into the collective. And people need to start remembering that. White people need to wake up to that. They need to say it. They need to take responsibility. They need to own up to that. They need to say they do acknowledge this, because it is so important for people to bring awareness and understand that. Because then now we're not dismissing the actual history that has taken place on planet Earth.
Yes.
So, and this is where also with the gates, like Stargate 9 Antarctica, there's so much hidden information, which, by the way, the US, the military, other countries all have military out there. So yes, there is something going on in the depth of that.
Yeah.
Where there's hidden messages, hidden codes happening in Antarctica. And this gate is actually the wound of hidden information. That is the wound of it. So each gate, all 12 primary gates, show me like a wound and show me what needs to be healed. So this is kind of where it's so important to understand that. Yeah. And Iran Stargate is the wound of separation, which is the biggest wound on planet Earth. So that's why so many people are so drawn to this Stargate, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. And what are we talking? We are literally talking about division, about the Tower of Babel, about race and everything. And again, here we go, Stargate 10, division. Like, okay. And on the cosmic level of how I've seen things, when I've kind of, I didn't try to channel Stargate 10. It just kind of came to me in a past life regression. And then I kind of astral projected to kind of outside of it. But kind of what I saw is that Kevin, the dragon I'm calling Kevin, is my favorite. Dragons are so funny.
I love it.
Oh, it's asking me to do, hold on one second. Sorry, I'm new to this Facebook Live thing, and it's asking me to stay alive. Okay. Kevin the dragon basically was like irritated by the war. It's been going on for so long. He was annoyed, and he's basically said that nobody that's around there that's fighting for it knows how to use the technology that it is. And he's kind of irritated, and he's ready for the people who understand how to use the technology to come in. And yeah, just kind of a funny little character, but he's old. He lives like in the mountains. He's like dark brown, just kind of blends in with the mountains.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cute. I do think, though, there are quite a few people in Iran who are, who are from Iran who do know about the gates, and from a positive level, and they are connecting with the gates, because I've connected with many people from Iran who've told me about their connection with the gate, what they're doing, how they're trying to help heal, how their prayer, their meditations, any religion that they are, if it's Islam, Christianity, how they're working with that, tapping into certain goddesses. So I do think there is a lot of people who are there that know about this and are aware. It's not people, it's the government structures, and especially the US and Israel has no business being there right now. And it's all about control. And
100%. And what is all in the PDF files, and then you tell me what Stargate 10 does. And let's all have a common denomination down here with pattern recognition, with our critical thinking skills of PDF files. Where are all the kids? Where are they going? Because they know that they're coming and they're finding them. They're about to be over here at Zorro Ranch. Where do you think they're moving all these kids to? What do you think is Stargate 10, and where is it going?
Right.
Why do you think they want control of it?
Yeah, exactly. It's horrible. And this is where more awareness needs to be brought.
Yes.
And people need to be held accountable. And this is why it's not just spiritual talks or woo-woo anymore, because everything is connected. And this is the thing, like, I used to not really want to speak so much about political stuff because I didn't want to focus on that, but I've always spoken about humanity. I've always spoken about race, and also indigenous land, the respect, everything. I've spoken about this since a young girl, so I've always stood by that. But lately I've spoken more politically because it's like you can't now even look away because it's how can you be spiritual but not also hold truth? And I think with honesty, spirituality is honesty. You can't heal unless you're honest.
Yeah.
So this is where when a lot of people are speaking about new earth frequency, we have to understand there's an integration happening, and we can't just be like, oh, new earth, we're all shifting into a higher state of consciousness, I'm not going to vibrate on this lower frequency. No, we also have to still speak and use our voice and speak up for what is right and what is wrong and hold people accountable. And I know there's some people who might not want to use their voice and they're holding prayer or meditation, or they're doing it in their own quiet way. But I think if you do have a huge platform, like I don't have a big platform, but there's people out there who have very big platforms and who are saying they meditate and they're about this wellness energy, but then they're not going to speak about the wrongful doings that are happening in the collective right now. Like, I don't agree with that. I do feel people need to speak up. Like, especially if you have over 1 million followers and you're acting like you do meditate, you do need to bring a bit of energy where there is this contrast. And I don't even like using that word because it's not even the right word, but this, heartbreak and horrible evilness that is happening on planet Earth. And we need to really show awareness of what is happening. We can't just keep sweeping it under the rug and looking away.
We can't grow from it if we don't look at it. And
exactly.
Evolutions go like this, and evolutions go in spirals. And evolutions are evolved by looking at our shit and growing from our mistakes, recognizing pattern. We're all coming out neurodivergent. It's not the vapes that are making us neurodivergent or the aspirin. It's this extraterrestrial consciousness that has come here to help us grow and move through something to bring in a new frequency to save this planet, because we have been, again, using it like a trash bin.
Exactly. And this is the thing, people talk about ascension. You can't ascend unless you hold truth to everything that is happening. So this is where, with the spiral, we come here to planet Earth as souls, and we do have a mission, and we do sign up for this school on planet Earth, but we have to be doing the work too. It's about shifting and expanding and evolving, and we have to shift the consciousness on planet Earth to a higher state of evolution. That's the only way we actually heal and transcend. And this is how the spiral works. So when in the segment I said, Atlantis fell 12,000 years ago, and a lot of souls right now have a lifetime on planet Earth, have a thread from that timeline, even though it's still happening because there's no such thing as time. We have a thread on this timeline right now on planet Earth of Atlantis. Maybe not all souls, but quite a few. And this is why the Stargates are really coming up. This is why people are being like, what is this whole Stargate thing? This sounds a bit interesting, because we're pulling at certain strings where they're beginning to remember, oh, I maybe did have a past timeline in Atlantis. Maybe I have gone through this experience. This is deja vu maybe happening. So I think people really need to tap in a bit more and become, shift their awareness. And I have received many messages where people are like, thank you for speaking up, because I'm now open to this subject. So, I think to just be like, oh yeah, just meditate and let's keep it like that, I really don't think that's true evolution. I think it's about understanding timelines. It's about shifting. It's about being a bridger. It's how can I bridge certain timelines? How can I help evolve? How can I also spread kindness? I think that's a huge thing. How can I help humanity understand? How can I show up being kind to one another? But also, when people do sometimes say nasty things or horrible things, I will call that shit out, because I don't like fake shit. Like, I don't like this fake energy. And there's a lot in this spiritual community that sometimes can be super fake. And it's like, oh, whoa. Let me call you out right now, because that's just being fake. Where's the authentic energy that's supposed to come through right now?
Yeah, exactly. And I think says a lot too, because I think there's a lot of people, I think there's different waves of consciousness and different waves of remembering, at least in my spiritual journey through the last even 10 years. Like there was the wave of at least like, I had always kind of known that this, like the way the story was told to me wasn't right and that I didn't really fit in here. I always kind of knew that part of the story.
Yeah, me too.
And when I like kind of I removed myself from my first group of friends and my second group of friends, and I kept moving away, and everyone's like, you're running from your problems. I'm like, actually, I'm just trying to figure out who I am. And that was my 20s and my 30s, whatever, however long it takes. My point was to figure out who I am without the stories that were placed upon me.
Right. Exactly. And I love that. Like you give me very like nomad journey, kind of alchemist energy. Like the book. And I think that is such a, like we are all souls as visitors coming to planet Earth. This is this is Mother Gaia's Earth. And this is also goes back to the gates. Like, where's the respect? Where's the bowing down to nature, to one another, to animals? This is where people always say to me, oh, you shouldn't say bow down to a certain culture or this and that. No, I bow down to everything and everyone 100%, because it's a respect factor. Mother Gaia, it's a mirror. She's receiving that energy because she's like, wow, you see what I've created. You see my children. You see planet Earth. You see what this planet is about. And it just really takes people getting out of their ego and understanding and landing in their heart. And I know not everyone was like, I had an upbringing where I was fortunate to have a family and parents to say, church is our nature, and to get out and work in nature, be around the trees. I grew up in Canada, in Vancouver, so I was really around nature. And I understand a lot of people, maybe grew up in religions and like how your background is. And like really good job on you for breaking out of that kind of box, because even though I believe in all religions and in the good in every religion, there's a lot of religions that will put you in one box and don't let you open up and be aware of other things that are happening. So this is just a reminder that, hey, okay, if you're landing in and you hear this podcast, maybe I should try to connect with nature. Maybe I should, tap into this energy and see what it has for me. And maybe the whole Stargate thing is not that too far out there.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, if you believe everything is energy, you should believe that there's an energy field, that the veils are thinner, and there's a deeper connection with the earth, the ley lines, and the stars. And this is where earth and heaven meet, because back in the day, this is where a lot of goddesses, certain star seeds, the Anunnaki, we have even in Lemuria, Atlantis, Africa, they believed all in this energy. The indigenous people, this portal, they believed in certain portals. And
imagery is the same across all of the planet, even here in Utah. The imagery is the same.
Exactly. Like you cannot make up nature. Like how you cannot, like nature is nature. Like it's wild to me that people sometimes don't want to admit what is great all around us.
It's funny that you bring up religion and nature too, because that's actually one of the moments where I noticed in my deconstruction from religion was that I noticed that the Republican Party, first and foremost, sorry guys, and sorry Dad, the Republican Party doesn't care about the environment. And I was just like kind of torn by that. I was like, okay, I understand. This is like at the beginning of my deconstruction. They separate us by politics. So I was like, okay, red and blue. And I was like, well, I love people, so blue makes sense. But I also love the planet. So like, why would I be choosing? It didn't even make sense to my little human brain. That
same
doesn't make sense. So then the other thing I started noticing was that specifically religions, I'm going to call it out. Okay, Al, I'm sweating. when I moved to Utah 10 years ago, I noticed that there was an exorbitant amount of hoarding. And it's a little bit different than the evangelical church that lives a little bit more in, some of them in scarcity, because they're waiting for Jesus to come any day now. And I have been on this planet for 43 years and have lived through about 21 of Jesus's comings and have lived and survived through them all. And I am still here to tell the tale. However, I notice evangelicals live in this kind of like scarcity sort of mindset where Jesus is coming all the time and we don't actually need to take care of our personal needs. We don't actually have to check in with our emotions or be good people because Jesus is coming. He's forgiving me. So at some point I just have like a clean slate and I'm good to go. Where the Mormons are hoarding wealth. And I was like, what is this? Like, it's not, so they're not Christian. I mean, come at me. I don't care. Whatever. We all have different labels and different things and who we believe in and whatnot. But I thought the difference was interesting. So my dad told me that I think it's that the Mormon LDS Church says that the meek will inherit the earth. So I don't know a single Mormon that doesn't have a basement full of about 2 to 3 years worth of food stocked in their basements. It's interesting, very different from what I grew up in. But I also realized that they're not very good stewards of planet Earth. I find that's very weird in religions where we are supposed to be taking care of each other, and it's guised in taking care of each other, of humanity, of being in a good heart, in a good space, of worshiping our Creator in however way. But here we are not taking care of the thing that's been holding us from the beginning. All of our roots, all of our traumas, all of our memories, like Gaia knows it's our record of everything about us that came before us. And we came here and stepped on it like trash, like the colonizers that we are.
Exactly.
And we didn't stop and listen to the natives of the people that came before us, the energies that came before us, listening to the wind, to the fire, to the earth, to the water, like listening to the elements, to like honor the directions that of those that came before us, of the energies that come from every direction, and actually sit and become one. For once in our life, turn off the chatter, turn off the screens, turn off all the things. Turn off your fucking news. Turn off your fucking news. Go put your feet in the fucking grass, for God's sake. And start there and take a breath and ask yourself, who do you want to be in this new frequency? As the world is dividing and as things are changing, who do you want to be in this new world? Do you want to be someone who perpetuates cycles of harm and narratives that cause division and separation? Or do you want to roll up your sleeves and become a good fucking person and remember and become a part of something that's greater than yourself?
Exactly.
What are we doing? What
are we doing?
Paperwork of taxes and paying for a war for some old demented guy who's peeing his pants and pressing gold with glue on his fucking walls that we pay for with our tax dollars.
Exactly. This is why I always saw, like, people ask me before he got into office, do you think he's going to be? And I was like, yes. And this is what I see, is that he needed to be put into office because we really needed a horrible movie to be played out in front of the collective, like a horror movie. And you know, I know. But also I don't say that lightly because there's lives that have been lost. There's people ICE detentions. Like, I do not say this lightly. All those little 167 schoolgirls in Iran died. Exactly. We should be so upset. But I say this, that we had to have people like Pete, Trump, the creepy bald guy, I don't know his name, Lindsey Graham.
I don't tell their names anymore.
No, like, they're all white names. I don't know them, whatever. But and Caroline with her cross around her neck. Like, all of them had to be played out as a horrible movie so the collective can wake up and actually realize, oh, you believe they have more power over you? Huh. Let's take our power back, people. Let's take, like, the energy back. Let's take back
worst that could happen,
ourself, our inner self. let's be creators. Let's take back our energy and actually become creators of our reality.
Mm-hmm.
We needed it to get so bad so humanity actually could also, and also I feel like it needed to get so bad so people can see how much racism is in the collective. How messed up this white system is woven into this structure, into this government, into America, into the world. And I also think it's a wake up for Americans to realize you're not the center of the universe. We come from the other parts of the planet. And if we're not honoring that, if we're not respecting that, but so many people, like I even see how I've gotten some, like people are mad, like angry at me for talking about this, like older white woman and those white men, and like they always have the eagle with the sunglasses and then the American flag. I'm like, what? And they come at me and they're so angry, and it's like, you know,
they're bots.
Exactly. Well, that too.
Or nobody's home.
Or there's so many humans that fear the unknown.
Yeah.
They're scared of what they don't know.
Yeah.
And if they actually just educate themselves. And it's so funny, in the Daily Show, I read some of the comments. People are like, oh, our education system has failed us. First of all, I'm Canadian, people.
Right.
It's like, you think your education system, yes, it's failed you guys.
You're right. We're saying the same thing.
This bullshit in this history, like they've been lying. They completely erased Black history. They completely erased other cultures. Like, it's insane. It's crazy. Like, no offense to Americans, but if you have not traveled, like, you should not really be speaking. Like,
period. Every time. Okay, I actually have the craziest story, because I used to have a travel blog. I'm a flight attendant. I don't fly that often. I had a travel blog for a while, and I would go around the bars in New York and interview people and ask them, like, where's the best place you've ever traveled to, and blah, blah, blah. And I can't tell you, it got really weird when some people would be like, I never need to leave America. We have everything we need here. And I was like, oh, no. And then I heard an interesting perspective that New York City is actually a virtual prison, and that everyone has this ego that it's the best and the best and the best, and it keeps them there. And I was like, oh, my God. What if it was?
Oh, probably. But I think it's shifting now.
Oh, now I'm like,
it's completely shifting. Like, the mayor, amazing. Like, this is hope.
Yes.
This is like hope. This is someone who's actually connected with humanity.
Finally. I mean, and he really has only been in there for a little while, and here we are watching him make big boy decisions, and now I'm like, damn, that's sexy. I'm just gotta say it. Like,
exactly.
I don't care what you actually look like. That's a sexy move.
Exactly. I know. Have you had
groceries? Sexy.
There's a podcast called I've Had It, and it's these two blonde women, and I love them. And they're always like, and they talk about political stuff, and they're always like, Trump is just so jealous of the mayor of New York.
Oh, yeah.
Obama, like, because look at how just good looking these guys are compared to Trump. How they hold this, and it's so true. And it's like, it's And
also, can we just also, is this the, like, I mean, I guess it's my business and my company, but maybe he's like a little bit attracted to men, and maybe what's in the files isn't about the women.
100%. I've always said I think they're doing some weird gay stuff.
Yeah.
Like him and Pete, and how did that one guy get that role as like there's so many, like, and there's a lot on Lindsey Graham too.
Yeah.
Like, who that came out, he just passed, but there's a lot on him that, you know, came out that, like, yeah, he's for sure gay, and he was so against gay.
Grindr always crashes at Republican events, so again, to hate reptilians is to hate thyself, and to hate the gays is to hate thyself.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, you know, when you guys are, I don't get why the spiritual community is going against the reptilian civilization. Like, that's then putting one civilization in the box. And they've been around. Them and Lyrans are the oldest star constellations in the sky. So they've had a lot more time years or light years to forget. So they've been in an energy of forgetting, but it's also because there was a system in the reptilians where there was a service to self energy, where a lot of them did want to control and manipulate. And it did happen with the galactic war with the Lyrans.
Mm-hmm.
But it also it stems back to this energy of a lot of them, though, have healed, and a lot of them are service to others.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's such a, they're not all bad. So this is the thing. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, exactly. It's just
like, also don't have that much influence on planet Earth, like people are making them out to believe. Yes, maybe some hybrids and that's a different subject, but the reptilian civilization, they're not even focused on Earth right now. Most planets and most extraterrestrial beings are only focused on the good of planet Earth,
mm-hmm.
evolution of it.
Yep.
So yes, there is lower entities. I'm not saying there's not, but the majority is actually focused on the positive on planet Earth, trying to heal the collective.
Yeah, I'd have to concur with you on that too. And like just to watch, like if you're watching from TikTok or whether you're watching from YouTube or wherever, just to see like what AI and the consciousness and all the expansion that's happening with knowledge and information. But also Aaron Parnas, if you follow him from the news, he posted today how they basically outed an AI or some machine was basically destroying old books like it's 1984. And so it's kind of funny to me because at the same time, yes, they're destroying the books, but if you fall into these fear narratives of the third dimension, you also have to realize where the pendulum slings in destruction, it also swings in creation. And there are people like me, people like Marie, people like a lot of the people in my community who are wisdom keepers. We were brought here to spread information that is good and hopeful, that help people actually remember who they are without telling them like what actually happens. But if you want to ask us more questions and get to know us more with any of our stories, I think a lot of us are open and forthcoming. But Marie has like a paper I keep coming back to. A paper is not, how would you describe your Stargate? Paper is not the right word.
Oh, my journal, like the PDF journal I created.
The Stargate one? Yeah.
Yeah, it's available online. And yeah, it's a kind of a little Stargate pocket book.
Yes.
I'm gonna work on a book on the Stargates, but it's been a lot lately. So I need to catch up to going back to the drawing board and getting down to the writing. But it's been a lot more happening in the collective right now, but I've been pulled into other directions. But I do want to write a book on the Stargates.
Yeah.
And there are a few books out there. Like a woman, I think in the 90s in the UK, wrote a book about Stargates. I think there's quite a few. So,
pardon? We're remembering.
Yes, exactly. We are remembering.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, awesome. I reference your pocket reference thing all the time, especially as people are coming into my office and having their rememberings. And I'm like, oh, let's see what Stargate that sits in.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So, I'm excited to do more with you and talk more about these things. But for anyone else, if you have questions, these would be the time to ask your questions live, because these are the beautiful part about what we do here at All TV with Conscious Content is offer these opportunities with live so that you can ask the questions, and it goes beyond just commentaries where we can text you back, but this is more engaging and way more fun.
And I see a comment that, oh, don't claim you're practicing science. I don't think any of us are claiming that. So this is where people like to twist stuff. But to me, science is spirituality. So if you need proof, that is your own journey. That is your own mission that you need. And you need to believe that. For me personally, I don't need proof. I'm a believer. I tap into the energy. And to me, that's where the science is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also like, again, like what's the worst that could go wrong if you maybe just believed and had your Robin Williams moment on Hook where you opened your fucking imagination that closed up when you were about 12.
Yes.
Conveniently, when you were hitting puberty and having all of your self-creation and self-doubt, that was then hijacked. So now your creativity went away with your pineal gland, and now you're Robin Williams and you're a lawyer and you can't see things and you can't have fun with imagination and color.
Exactly. And you know what imagination is? It's intuition. That's what it is. So intuition, you're tapping into your imagination. And with your imagination, you are tapping into your intuition.
It's a freaking
Yes.
It's a different language for different things. Frequency.
Exactly. So this is why, like, when I get these science topics, I'm like, I've never claimed that I know anything about science, but I'll claim that spirituality to me is science.
Yeah.
And there's many scientists that actually believe in this. And I actually had an email this morning from a scientist saying how much he believed in this.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny. It's really either your belief is there or your belief's not. That's what it comes down to.
Yep. Yeah. Choose to believe it. We're not here to change anyone's mind. And I think that's where the beauty lies in what we do. And also it makes it more fun because we don't really give a shit if you do or not. We're going to continue to raise awareness and also to right the wrongs of those that came before us. And also maybe have some difficult conversations in the future with different races and different things. And let's have some of those uncomfortable conversations. And maybe it's time people do have some. Maybe people need to hear what happened in the Orion Wars, or maybe people need to hear what happened here on Earth when Joseph Smith got those tablets, and who did he actually channel when he created the Mormon Church?
Exactly. There's so much like people need to really tap into and ask their own intuition, their own energy field. It's connecting with your own guides. And this is the thing with the whole Stargates. It's literally telling you don't need to go anywhere. All you have to do is go within.
Yes.
And I don't know what better message that is.
Yeah,
and
you need is here.
Exactly, right? It's just, that's what it is.
Yeah. You guys are looking for a pill, but you wanted an easy solution, but you thought it was outside of yourself. And we gave our power away when we let the priests, when we let the government, when we let all these third-party people have the doctors, the nurses, everyone who had a say to tell us how we were supposed to feel, what our bodies are doing, what we're supposed to do with our bodies and our energies with these 9 to 5, 8-hour work days. So 1/3 of our lives to do paperwork that could have been a meeting that we found out during Zoom, during COVID. All of this could have been a meeting on a Zoom, and we've been wasting a lot of our time when we should have been out there this entire time playing in nature, connecting with nature, remembering the herbs that actually helped us, remembering the parts of ourselves that we lost, remembering the childlike creativity that lives inside of us that we forgot. That I love to paint, and I love to paint rocks specifically. And I love to paint rocks with my friends and give them to them. And it's these simple moments that remember that we did come here and we did choose to come here as humanity. And yes, the work is hard and there's a lot to do, but also we get to have fun and we get to do it with our friends because we remember we've done this before.
Exactly. 100%.
Beautiful. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you would like to share?
Yeah, let me think of something. I do have to get on another call soon, but I'm trying to see if there's something that wants to come through, messages. Do you have like another question or?
I mean, then I think after this, it would be going from what are the details of each Stargate, which is kind of what your PDFs should be. So I feel like we should just direct people that way for now. And then if people have questions, depending on how people react to this content, depends on where we can go from here. If you guys like this type of content, we can dive deeper. If there's a specific portal or maybe a star seeds or a species or something that you guys are curious to know more about, put it in the comments, send us a message. And we can kind of go from there because there's a lot to know. And yeah, we can keep having more guests on here. And I think having these open conversations is the things that raise awareness. Do you remember, what was it? Was it last year? What is time? Last year or the year before about Bashar and how everyone was predicting like open contact like almost 2 years ago?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
We were laughing. Sam and I were, he was like, what if this whole time we were waiting for the aliens to come and we realized that we're the aliens?
Yeah, exactly.
Now we're having our remembering and we're realizing like we weren't ready 2 years ago for what we're remembering now.
Yeah, no, people weren't. It's really, the veil is getting thinner and thinner in the collective.
Yeah.
So when that happens, you begin to remember more.
Yeah.
And so many people, like, this is why, like, I get asked all the time, do I do shrooms? Have I done ayahuasca? What weed do I smoke? I've never done that. Like years ago, yeah, I've tried weed, but that was a very long time ago.
Yeah.
But I've been meditating. This is a journey. And I've always looked at it, not to hate on anybody, because sometimes it is the path of least resistance
Yeah.
to somebody. And sometimes it does open for their spiritual journey. And I've just been on a very deep meditation journey and channeling for a while.
Yeah.
So that's why I never tried it, because I kind of thought it was like the easy door instead of like going through the window. Like I kind of was just like, I'd rather, do the actual work and meditate and tap into that energy.
Yeah.
So when I did that, well, that's what I do, but more people are actually talking about ayahuasca and mushrooms and shrooms and their journey and their microdosing and what they're seeing. Like my Uber driver yesterday was telling me he saw a portal out of the sky in a UFO and he was on shrooms, but he's like, I believed it and it's true and I feel it. And, so it's like people are really actually becoming more aware. And sometimes maybe, I'm not saying like you shouldn't do that stuff. If it's right for you, it's right. I might try it in the future, but anybody can do this with meditation and also receive this visions, downloads, frequency, messages.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a psychedelic space holder and I've been trained in it for a while and I barely ever do it. It's been over probably a real year since I've like sat with that medicine because you don't really need it. Mm-hmm. And I've been going to Maharishi University at MIU that we do transcendental meditation, TM. And I didn't even know there was like different types of meditation. I always kind of did more portal work when I meditated, was more like, okay, I just was like creating all these portals in my head and doing my own thing. But when I started transcendental meditation, it was such a beautiful experience back to myself. And then to realize like once when I make time for myself, that I have all the time I need for everything else I need in the rest of the day. And that my presence is grounded and I'm centered and I have all the answers I need and all the time I need for everything. But also coming back into that too is like, okay, now I have a heightened sense of awareness too, because I'm aware of what my energy field feels like first and foremost before I interact with others.
Exactly. Right? Mm-hmm. No, it's so true.
Yeah. Beautiful. I was trying to think of anything else that needed to come through. I was just kind of seeing if anybody wanted to, any of my guys in my head. Don't lock me up. Any of the guys I wanted to say anything else before we start wrapping up. And most of it is like, okay, we want to get into the details of the Stargates. And I'm like, okay, we could do that later. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I will be filming more. Like I'm doing a bit on YouTube and then I'm doing coaching stuff on Patreon just for people to connect more with the Stargates.
Yeah.
Kind of tap into that energy because I just feel like it's kind of also, it's just a specific topic. And some people want to connect, some people might not want to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we should also be putting these like conversations and energies in the sacred spaces that they deserve, and that is off of like camera or on camera, but in a sacred space, behind, because and part of the remembering it is sacred. It is sacred.
It is. Yeah. It's very.
It's beautiful. That was one of the last questions I was going to ask, and you don't have to answer it. Feel free to ignore it if you want to. But if you were going to say that maybe you were a Starseed, would you attach to a lineage off the top of your head?
Yeah, so I've tapped in, like I hold actually a lot of Lyran and Pleiadian.
Yeah.
Me, and that's kind of the two that I really tap into. And then I'm also very connected to my civilization timeline in Lemuria and in Atlantis. I know some people say, oh, you can't have timelines from both civilizations, which I don't know if I really agree with that. I've heard people say that, but I believe, like, I for sure have had both
Yeah.
timelines, so I connect with both deeply. But yeah, I connect, like, I'm really tapped into my guides, my dragon too, and it's whoever that's coming in, or if I want to tap with a certain energy. Lately, Anunnaki has been really coming in and showing me some things about the gates that I kind of need to understand a bit more on a deeper level. So I've
Mm-hmm.
been tapping into energy like that, which I'm excited to even learn more about, and to kind of sit down and see what is coming through, and really see what messages that might help with the collective and humanity.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I kind of see like each one of the gates as a being in charge of a different color of frequency in the rainbow, and that kind of puts it all together when they're all activated or in alignment of the input output in the correct orders. That it will be a really beautiful resonance that we can, for once in humanity, know what truth actually feels like, and those old facades will be fading away, and we remember how to be human, and that means by connecting first with yourself and then with others. And that means not being a parasite of even your community. That if you are saying that you want to have connection and be a part of a community, and no one wants to talk to you about all these things, move out of your victimhood. There is a conscious community. We're right here. We love to talk about weird things. If you want to come on one of our lives and talk to us about weird shit too, we love this. But also, like, we're raising awareness, we're growing together, and yeah, there's a lot of amazing opportunities here. Yeah, that's all I have for today, personally.
Thank you for having me. It was so great to reconnect with you.
Oh my gosh, I know so much has happened and so much has changed, and even by like the next time, I'm sure a lot more will happen for both of us, because I think things are about to like really take off for a lot of the people in our community who have been brave enough to speak about these things and show our faces and not be afraid to talk about things that maybe even 10 years ago might have put us in a loony bin.
Right? Exactly. No, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again for being brave and for sharing your story. And I think probably out of reading the comments, some of my favorite was like, oh my God, she's real? That you're real?
I know so many people thought I was AI,
Well,
or like an actress. Oh, you're too sweet.
Yeah.
Some people thought I was like an actress, and yes, I'm like, I do believe in this. People are like, she believes in this. You don't. I have to remind myself, like, oh,
I know, right?
yeah, I'm like, I am out there, but it's crazy because I'm like, if you believe in nature, if you believe this planet is moving, just perfectly spinning as an orbit, like as a planet or whatever it is, and the stars and the cosmos, and when you look up the sky and you see the moon and you see the sun, like, it's just wild to me how so many people are still in that matrix energy.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it is. I swear to God, when all the psychics on TikTok were like, Donald Trump's not going to win, he's not going to win. I knew he wouldn't win, and I made a dollar bet with a friend that he wouldn't win. And I knew that the next time I saw him when he won, that I'd have to give him $1. But I am going to just say, I am never wrong. I am always early. And one day my friend will give me back that $1 because we can prove it.
Yes, exactly. I love it. I know. I was just like, I knew what was coming, but he's a reminder that he's mirroring back to the collective of what we don't want. So this is why it's happening.
The metaphor of the reflection pool of what is happening in America is just like, it's not lost on me. The irony is just like, we are the consequences of our actions.
We are.
And here we are, and now it's time to do better, and leave the world better than we found it, and at least try. It doesn't matter. You can be a person that wants to give up, but what? Now you're part of the problem.
Exactly.
You're a parasite. So I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get to work. I'm a Capricorn.
Exactly. I love it. Love Capricorns.
We get things done.
I do have to run.
Okay, thank you so much, so much again for everything that you do and for spreading awareness. And I look forward to doing more of this with you.
Thanks
And
so much, Julie, you're amazing.
Thanks for watching. Yeah, thank you. We will see you guys next time.
Thank you for joining us this evening. We bridge the gap between what the world often keeps separate, logic and light, and spirit and science. We welcome everyone to come as you are and invite you to become the hero you want to become through educational tools and community connection. We offer tools, teachings, and community to help you remember who you are. This includes live shows, workshops, nutrition and wellness, and exclusive member perks. Logic leads us, light guides us, community connects us. Check out our TV Digest channel guide on All TV. Catch your favorite show, live stream, or find a new favorite show to add to your notifications. We are always adding new standalone episodes and series. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. Find us online on our website and all major social media platforms at Academy of Logic and Light. Click the link in bio to join our community. We hope to see you again soon, either here or on your hero's journey.